Gazette confirms IQD rate. Iraqi Dinar holders, your time is now. Iraqi Dinar News Today 2025. With the intro of your channel RV News included, welcome back to RV News, your trusted source for the most explosive updates on the Iraqi Dinar IQD, Vietnamese Dong VND, and the ongoing revaluation process that investors across the globe have been waiting for. If you're holding IQD or VND, fasten your seatbelt, because today's report isn't just speculation, it's confirmation. That's right. The Iraqi Gazette has officially published documentation confirming the new rate of the Iraqi Dinar, signaling that the long-awaited revaluation is no longer a rumor, but a real-world financial event unfolding before our eyes. For those of you who have patiently waited, watched, and hoped, this moment is history in the making. For over a decade, Dinar holders have studied every whisper, dissected every IMF briefing, and skinned every central bank of Iraq announcement for clues of a coming RV. But now, with this Gazette confirmation, we have reached a pivotal turning point. According to the latest publication from the official Iraqi Gazette, the new rate of the Iraqi Dinar has been publicly codified, meaning this is not a leak, not a rumor, not insider speculation. It is now part of the country's published legal record. For context, the Iraqi Gazette is the government's official publication for announcing legislation, executive orders, and financial regulations. When something hits the Gazette, it's binding, it's public, and it's real. Sources inside Iraq have been buzzing for weeks about a series of back-channel meetings between the Central Bank of Iraq, IMF representatives, and global financial institutions. Those meetings now appear to have culminated in a formal adjustment of Iraq's official exchange rate, with the new IQD value set to go live in international markets within days, if not hours. Several high-level Iraqi economic advisors have hinted in recent interviews that the nation is ready to fully rejoin the global financial system, and that restoring the dinar's true value is part of a broader plan to stabilize and grow the economy. Today's Gazette confirmation gives these words undeniable weight. The rate listed in the Gazette marks a significant revaluation upwards, with early figures showing a potential 1 IQD equals $3.47, which mirrors Iraq's rate before the Gulf War. Let that sink in. A nation that has long been shackled by sanctions, corruption, and war is now poised to leap back onto the world stage with a powerful and stable currency. This rate would place Iraq among the strongest valued currencies in the Middle East, rivaling even the Kuwaiti dinar and the Bahraini dinar. And for those who have held IQD in anticipation of such a move, the financial transformation is nothing short of staggering. Banks in the United States, Canada, Europe, and the Gulf region have reportedly received internal memos over the weekend, preparing for the change. Screens that were previously showing pending or off-market rates for the IQD are now updating to reflect real-time movement. Several Tier 1 banks, including HSBC, Wells Fargo, and Chase, have quietly updated their internal Forex platforms to begin processing IQD transactions at the new rate. While public availability may still be staggered over the coming days, insiders confirm that redemption protocols are now in effect and that select high-net-worth clients and group exchange members have already begun scheduling appointments. This ties directly into what we've been reporting over the past few weeks on RV News: the sudden increase in activity at redemption centers, the late-night memo from the PNC Bank regarding IQD processing protocols, and the chatter from global financial forums that the IQD rate was being quietly adjusted behind the scenes. Now, with the Gazette publication as our smoking gun, the speculation ends. This is happening. It's unfolding, and if you've been waiting to exchange, your time is now. It's important to understand that this is not just about Iraq's currency. It's about a paradigm shift in global economics. Iraq is rich in oil, minerals, agriculture, and untapped trade potential. Restoring the value of the IQD is a cornerstone to reestablishing Iraq's financial sovereignty and global partnerships. Moreover, it signals the activation of broader economic reform strategies under the White Paper Plan, which includes attracting foreign investment, rebuilding infrastructure, and digitizing Iraq's banking sector. This revaluation is not a standalone event. It's the spark that lights the fire of a long-term transformation. Let's talk briefly about what this means for everyday IQD holders. If you've been holding onto Iraqi Dinar, whether it's 100,000 or 10 million, the value of your holdings may have just multiplied dramatically with the confirmed Gazette rate. IQD holders could potentially see life-changing returns once international banks complete the roll out. But a word of caution, this is not the time to act hastily. Ensure your exchange is conducted through licensed institutions. And keep an eye out for contract rates or special group exchange offers that may provide higher returns depending on your currency volume. Another point to keep in mind is that taxation and legal reporting will play a role in how much you ultimately receive. Many tax professionals are now being briefed on how to handle IQD revaluation events. In the United States, for example, depending on whether your dinar was treated as an investment or as a currency hedge, the IRS may apply different capital gains rules. Make sure you're consulting with a tax attorney or financial advisor who understands currency exchange events of this nature. We'll be covering this topic more in future videos, so stay tuned. Back on the ground in Iraq, the reaction has been one of both celebration and renewed hope. Baghdad markets erupted in spontaneous cheers after the news broke, and several local Iraqi news agencies have now published the Gazette announcement front and center. Government officials have called it a new chapter for the nation, and President Abdul Latif Rashid issued a televised statement affirming the government's commitment to transparency, accountability, and economic growth. He emphasized that Iraq's wealth must benefit its people, and that this revaluation will fund public projects, schools, healthcare, and infrastructure. Outside Iraq, the global response has been swift. The World Bank issued a cautiously optimistic statement, noting that Iraq's stabilization of its currency could encourage billions in foreign direct investment. The IMF applauded the move, calling it a disciplined, transparent realignment of Iraq's monetary value. And in neighboring countries like Jordan and Turkey, trade delegations are already lining up for renewed economic partnerships. The ripple effect of this rate confirmation extends far beyond Iraq's borders. This is a global financial event for those who follow historical RV cycles. You'll recall that reevaluations typically happen in phases. What we're seeing now is likely the first phase, the official confirmation and internal financial system updates. The next stage will be public accessibility, when everyday holders can walk into banks or redemption centers and exchange their dinar at the new rate. After that comes the reinvestment stage, when Iraq begins to deploy its newfound capital power to stimulate real economic change. Make no mistake, we are witnessing all three phases begin to overlap in real time now. Let's talk logistics. Based on sources close to US-based redemption centers, appointments are expected to be by invitation only at first, with priority given to previously registered exchange groups, high-volume holders, and military veterans. Walk-in exchanges may not be available until the initial wave is processed. If you're holding IQD, now is the time to double-check your documentation. Make sure your dinar notes are authentic, properly stored, and that you have multiple forms of ID ready. If you haven't registered with any exchange groups or platforms, consider doing so cautiously. Always verify their legitimacy before submitting personal information. Security will also be tight during this transition, because this revaluation could trigger the movement of billions, potentially trillions of dollars globally. Expect enhanced scrutiny at banks and airports. Law enforcement agencies have been briefed on currency fraud risks, and Homeland Security has reportedly deployed additional resources to monitor for any suspicious financial activity tied to the IQD. So what comes next? According to one source inside the Central Bank of Iraq, all systems are go for an international rate update rollout over the next 24 to 72 hours. That means your local bank could begin reflecting the new IQD rate in its foreign currency desk within days. If that happens, we expect a media blackout or carefully controlled messaging to avoid overwhelming the system. This is why staying connected to channels like RV News is crucial. We'll keep you informed as we verify each step and confirm when and where exchanges are being accepted. We're also hearing whispers of special rates available for those who exchange via certain digital platforms or apps being beta tested by Iraqi banking partners. These apps are reportedly designed to streamline the exchange process, reduce fraud, and allow real-time currency swaps with smart contract technology. If validated, this could change how revalued currencies are exchanged forever, and we'll be diving into this story in the next few episodes. So let's recap. The Gazette has confirmed the new IQD rate, making this the most significant development in the dinar world in over a decade. Global banking institutions are actively updating their systems. IR